I've had a request to model a low poly shed, and I'm going to be busy in the next little while with my kids and grandparents, and so I've decided I'm going to show you something really simple, and I'm going to be cheating and breaking some rules, but I'm just going to do something real simple. Okay, so check it out. Shift A, and bring in a mesh plane, and there's my front view. So look at this, and I'm going to edit mode. I'm going to scale this in the Y a little bit. That's going to form the base. E, I'm going to give it a little bit of thickness, like that. I'm just going to leave that alone for the moment. Shift A, mesh plane, rotate X90. I'm going to bring it towards the front. I want a bit of a step there. And I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to grab these points. I'm going to pull them up so they're under. And these ones I'm going to bring up higher. And we'll take the whole thing and we'll scale on the X. So there's a little bit of space on the sides. Let's give this some thickness like a piece of wood. E, come out. That's going to be all wood. No stone blocks. All right, so there's my piece of wood right there. Now, before we go any further, let's maybe take this Shift D, rotate Z90, and make the sides. I'd have a side there, maybe coming back a bit further, so I'll select that face, and we'll come back. So imagine I've got that there. I'm just going to block it in, Shift D, and imagine that's there. We can get it in the right position in a bit. Let's say I take this and I pull it back. I just want to get the overall idea of this thing here. And that would go in front. And then I take one of these to make the top, Shift D. And I'm going to rotate Y. Let's try 65 minus. Bring it up and out. Look from the front. And there's my Z line. I'm going to bring it back. So it's about there. And maybe I'll bring it down. Maybe I want it about that high, but I don't want it to overhang that much. So I could go into edit mode, select that face, and switch over to normal. And now I can, from front view, I can just push what happened there? I can push that and say, okay, I want it to overhang like maybe that much. I'd also want these equals in the X. It's going back to the global scale in the Y is what I meant. I want it past there. Don't worry about this stuff. I want it to overhang that way, maybe even a little bit more. All right, let's say, okay, that's looking all right. So what if I took that and mirrored it? Okay, so I've got my 3D cursor right there. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to set the origin of the 3D cursor. And with it selected, I'm going to come over to modifier, mirror, and with the eyedropper, I'm going to select that base. And I get that there. Okay, so that will be there. But hang on, it's open, so we would take a piece like this base, Shift D, and bring it up. That would cover there. So let's grab it, selected. Let's scale this in the X so it just covers the spot. Maybe a little higher. What about how it projects out? Yeah, that's all right. Maybe a bit more centered. Okay, that piece could be there. We have this opening here, but wait, I think it's too high. So I'm going to take it. Maybe I want it that high off the ground. So maybe I'll take this piece. What we want to make sure that we do is have this piece intersect with that and go all the way through it. You can go up to the moon if you want. It doesn't matter. We're going to do something with that in a second. So that would look good. Yeah, just like that. Okay. In that case, I'm going to get rid of this piece and we're going to work on this one. Okay, let's make this into some wood. Go into edit mode and put in some edge loops. Maybe like that. Does that look like planks of wood to you? Okay, if that's the case, with those selected, we're going to go Control B to bevel. I'm going to pull and give a little bit of space like this. then E, Alt S, and push. Okay, we can go into object mode and just have a look. It starts to look like wood. We can do a little bit more. With those still selected, let's scale them in the X to squish them in. We'll also create a little bit of an angle on here. Instead of it being 90 degrees, I'll put it like that so you can see. Let's switch over to individual origins. That's important. And scale in the X. SX, and watch. Okay, you see the angle starting to develop? That'll help catch some light. We'll also put a bevel on that eventually. So that piece is going to also double for the back. So what are we going to do about making this fit? Okay, here's what we do. I think I'll actually put a bevel on this first. So I've got a mirror on there. I'm going to click bevel. I'm going to go for 2, and I'm just going to dial it back till I just see a little bit of white there. Now I can see that a bit better. Anyhow, okay. Select your front piece, go into edit mode, select everything, and under mesh tools, choose bisect, and then put your cursor right in the middle of this and just start dragging up a line through that middle piece like that. Now nothing has happened. Just put a line there. Come down under bisect and choose clear outer, and that'll clear the outer stuff. You can fill the caps if you want, but we really don't need to. So I'm just going to deselect and have a look. All right, now we're going to do this side. Edit mode, select it all, choose bisect, and come up this way. But wait, something's going to happen. The other side's going to disappear. So just switch it from clear outer to clear inner. And now we have that piece. We can then take this piece, Shift D, and we can copy it down here. Where does it go? Does it go in front of that? Yeah, it goes in front of that. It's a little bit like that. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing with these. I'm not going to notch into them at all, so I'm just going to take this actually, and I'm going to see if I can pull this face down to there. That looks like it works for me. So I'll do the same with this one. And we could, of course, be deleting these faces as well if you want a low poly. X faces. We could hide this. We can come under here, select that, hide those faces, or delete them, sorry. Same thing on this one. Hide that. See the way these are open at the top? It's not a problem. Let's bring everything back. We could look at this, and you know, I'm sure we could delete other faces, but for the time being, let's create wood out of this. Put a bunch of edge loops in. Decide how thick you want your planks of wood to be. It doesn't have to be the exact same as this, but we have that. And then I go Control B, pull back to give a bit of space. E and Alt S. I'm gonna push. No. The problem is I'm in individual origins. Switch back to median, Alt S, push. With that still selected, I'm going to scale in the Y, but back into individual origins, SY. Pull until you start seeing that effect, and you get a bit of an angle on those. Make sure you do switch back. If I want that same bevel, oh, I got a bevel on there already. What am I talking about? So I got that. Let's select this piece, and then I'll just put a bevel on it. Okay. 1 might be sufficient, or 2. I don't want too much bevel. This piece of wood, like that. This one doesn't even have to be beveled because it's all hidden. This one could have the same bevel, so I could select that, and then select that, and then Control L, modifiers, and put the same bevel. But I actually want this thicker, so I'm going to do that. Alright, so there's our basic shed so far. So now let's cut a door into this from the front view. My 3D cursor is right there, so I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh, Circle. And I'm going to bring in a circle that's, the more vertices the better you're going to get it. So 32, maybe 24 might be good enough. We could try that. Rotate X90. and I'll bring it forward, scale it, and then you just got to decide how big your door of a door you want on this thing. Essentially what we're going to be doing is I'll show you. We're going to be deleting these bottom vertices so that we just leave the one that's right in the middle. X vertices, and we're going to select these ones and go E and bring them down. So this sort of looks like a door like that, right? Now is that too big? Do you want a small door like that? Bring it in. The main thing you want to do is you want to have these parts go down past the bottom of the wood. All right, you can go down as far as you really want, but we're going to reuse this to make a window, so just make a reasonable thing. Now, we're going to hit F to make a face there to join those vertices. We can still select that. We can pull up and say, okay, so there's where it is. I want it right down. I want to cut right through. So that's what we have. I'll pull it out so you can see it. All right. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to hit F to make a face and E to extrude. I'm going to pull it back a ways. It gets discolored depending on which way you go. That's the correct way. Polys are flipped. Just select it all and Control N. I want to pull this in so that it cuts through. I can hide this. Cuts right through my piece of wood. And in case I've been scaling in object mode, I'm going to go Control A, rotation and scale. It doesn't matter if I set my origin in geometry or not. Okay, I'm going to cut through this piece now. Okay, select it. This piece right here, the piece of wood. Add modifier Boolean. Choose difference, and with the eyedropper, select that. Hit apply, take this, and I'm just going to move it away. And let me reuse it. You can see we've cut through. Let's go Alt H, come back. This I don't think has a bevel on it yet, so I'm going to select it, and then this, I'm going to go, is there a mirror on this? What else have we got on here? It does have a bevel on it, and it has a mirror on it as well. Okay. Does it? No, it doesn't. This one does. Okay. Sorry, let's put a bevel on this, and I'll go for 2 maybe. And you can see, now don't worry too much actually about the jagged edges, because we're going to do something about that. I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to pull it in, and actually I'm going to make it smaller for scale in the Y. I want it just thicker than that wood. I'm going to hide this again so that we can see it on both sides. I'm going to select it, and in face selection I'm going to grab that face and that one, and then I'm going to hit I to inset and pull it in like this. Control E and bridge edge loops. Now I'm going to take it and pull it out because I want to get rid of this bottom stuff. We're not going to need it. It's not going to be seen. So select all these faces here. X faces. And we have this. Now these edges are on an angle. So we could just take them, select them like that, and go SZ0. That'll flatten them out. Select them, SZ0, that'll flatten them out. And then back in object mode, we could take this piece, I'll set the origin of geometry, pull it in, and say, do I like the thickness? Is it too much? Scale it in the Y then. Alright. Now, we can also scale it globally just to make sure it covers up any, parts of this that were, jagged. Now that doesn't look so good yet, but let's go. Apply rotation and scale. Let's go ahead and add a subdivision surface to this piece. You can decide if you want 1 or 2, and now it's going to require some edge loops in the back, in the front. Well, not there, or there, here. Well, you can put them wherever you want. This is where I'm going to put them. And here. And I don't know that you'd see the back, but just in case you did, somehow I could do it like that. And I could even put one more, not there, but coming back. Let's see if that's enough for that. Did we hit smoothing? That looks okay. Let's Alt H and bring that back. Now, did I get rid of that other piece? I think I may have. So maybe we'll do some other kind of a window on this. By the way, we could also take this piece, Shift D to copy it, bring it up, go into edit mode, scale this in the Z, and then scale it globally. Maybe we get rid of this, hide that, and take this, scale it in the X so it touches the sides. And we could make like another level inside here, right? Where you'd have barrels or boxes or something, and you could just barely see it through there. You could have a little ladder going up to that. And if that was beveled too much, you could either reduce the bevel or you could put an edge loop, you know, up and maybe down. And it would square it off a little bit more. See, still not very high poly. And we could cut into this as well using the same technique. I seem to have lost my other piece, right? So what I could do is take this. If I wanted to reuse it, Shift D, I could copy it out to here. Rotate Z 90. And I don't want it that big. Let's look from the side. Let's come in, and all you got to do is select one of these edges. So Shift Alt and click that edge. Okay, P to make it a new object. Take this piece and get rid of it. Not that one, this one. And we've got that. Scale it. I want a smaller window. Join the vertices up. These bottom ones, join them again, like that. Go F to make a face. Get rid of the subdivision surface for now. E, give it some thickness, looking dark, select it and flip it. Make sure it's wide enough to go all the way through the wall. Okay, just look. Okay, the side where you want this thing. Okay, and if you've scaled it or rotated in object mode, just go Control A, rotation and scale. Select this piece here. And go add modifier, Boolean difference, select that, apply, take this, move it out, don't delete it yet, and say, okay, I've got a hole there now. This piece, how about we select that face, and we'll put some edges to that one. Let's move this backwards behind that window so that that upper ledge is right there. Okay, right towards the back. And now for this, let's take this piece, let's bring it back. Might be too wide for the border of the window we want to make, so let's go into edit mode. Let's scale this in the X, so it just peeks out there. Yeah, that's okay. And then select that face and this face. Inset. Control E, bridge edge loops. We'll keep the bottoms. Okay, now we're going to add a subdivision surface, but we're going to have to do some work on this. Not too much. Go with one for now. Go into edit mode and just start putting edges where I do to pull it down. Like that and that. They don't have to be too sharp. And like that. And on the front face, out towards there, and on the front face, in towards there, and then here, towards the back, towards the front, and really, we should go Alt or Shift H to isolate it. We should be doing the same thing on the backs. We need one here. And by the way, did I bring one up here? No. And just in case we see on the inside. Okay, let's take that. Let's hit smoothing. Looks fine with one subdivision. Alt H to bring everything back. We have our little window. We might want to hit S and scale it just a little bit bigger. There we go. I don't know, maybe this is too thick. And maybe it needs to come out like this so it's not so symmetrical. Alright, so like I say, you could put barrels, you could put a little ladder in there. Let's do a quick little ladder. Alright, let's shift D, let's copy that piece. I often like to do it that way. Okay, there we go. Let's select it and scale it. And what do we want to do here, scale this in the Y, and we'll make the steps. I don't know how big these are. Scale this in the Z. Could that be the step of a ladder? Let's try arraying this. Let's make sure we apply rotation and scale. Let's array this in the Z. Okay, let's Shift D to copy this out and get rid of the array though. And just take the one, rotate Y 90, and bring it back. Maybe these are too wide. I don't know. Scale out the Y a little bit. And take this piece here. And we will, in wireframe, we'll box select there, and we'll pull it up like this. And copy it over to here. We could have ourselves a little ladder. Let's select that and Control G to make it a group and bring it into our little house. Let's hide the front and try to position this. Oh, okay. What we need to do is go Shift G and choose group, and it gets everything. Touch that. Again, we could be deleting back faces. We could rotate this if we wanted. Rotate X a little bit. And we can scale it. Let's actually hide this side. I can't tell what it's doing here. We're miles away. Shift G, group, get the whole thing. Okay, now I can see a little bit better. You know, something like that. It's just a prop in there. Whether we'll even see that, I don't know. Okay, so now the final sheet is textures. Very simply, I'll show you. First of all, I'm going to bring in a lamp, a sun, and I'm just going to rotate it a bit. And I come over and I'm going to choose for size 0.4, and for strength I'm going to choose 4. Okay, I'll make it a little bit yellow. Let's have a look. Okay, we're starting to see something, right? And we'll bring in a camera and just bring it back and over, and we'll choose N. What do we do? Lock camera to view and press 0 to look through and start getting our house. See a bit of the ladder, a bit of the window. Like that. I'm going to press the home button to maximize so we can see that. Okay, very nice. And some other lights. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do. In fact, sometimes I'll take the sun and the camera and I'll move them to another layer. Okay. In fact, I might want to move this. I'll just select it like that and move it over. So in case I'm, there, we'll see a little bit of the ladder. Okay. Anyhow, I'm going to split my screen, T and T, and I'm going to switch this over to the UV image editor. And I'm going to select this front face right there. Hang on. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edit mode. And because it's a bit of a complex shape with the beveling and all that and the way we cut into it, I'm going to select it all. I'm going to go U, Smart UV Project, and under Island Margin, I'm going to choose 0.03. Hit OK, and I will get this. Okay. Now I'm going to switch over to the node editor. Hit N to close that, and with that selected, I'm going to choose New to make a new material. I'll leave it with the diffuse shader. I won't get into principles right now. I'm just going to take this and Shift T to copy it, and Shift S to switch it to texture, image texture. I'm going to connect color to color there, and if I switch over here to material, you'll see that it just looks black. I don't see anything. That's because we don't have any actual texture selected. So with that selected, I'm going to come back to the UV image editor, and then I'm going to click open, and I'm going to find a texture, a wood texture in this case, and try to find one without these lines in it that indicate the panels. Try to find something that's just sort of a solid woody color. These are crappy textures. Some of them are crappy. So I'm just going to use this one. I'm going to do that. All right. And then I'm going to come to the node editor, and under my image texture, I'm going to select that. And now we can see our image texture. And it's applied, and it's not that bad. Now for this, I have to select both layers because my lights are on the other layer. And I have some wood on there. All right. Let's do that again. Let's select the roof there, which is a rather complicated structure. So I'll go in, edit. I got a mirror on it, so that's great. I can go use Smart UV Project, leave all the same settings, and all I have to do is come over here and choose the same material, and I get the wood. Now, is this perfect? No way. But it can work for a low poly model, just something very simple. Now, if I didn't like this piece here, I liked all these, I didn't like that one, I could come in, and in the UV image editor, I could scroll down here to where it says this one here, which is the island UV selection and display mode for island. And what you do is you select that in face selection, select that, and you can see where it is on the UV map. And that's why I get that black line. There it is. Select it. As long as you're on that, you'll get the whole thing, and hit G and move it to another location. And you can just watch it in real time updating. Maybe I like it there. All right. That kind of thing. All right, let's select this piece, go into edit mode, and let's just try U unwrap and material. And you may get an okay effect. I don't mind this and this. It's a little streaked, but this part, maybe I don't like that. So I'm coming here, select that piece. And because we did it this way, I get a weird effect. So what I would probably do is Smart UV Project, and then I can do this one independently. In fact, I may get a better result, and I did get a better result, and I could just leave it like that. All right, let's do some more. This is a simple object. Although we've got the line in there, let's just go U. Let's just try unwrap. Looks weird. Let's try U. Smart UV Project, see if it's any better. Ooh, that looks way better. Will I get an okay side? Yeah. Look at that. That's awesome. This one I didn't put a window in, so I'm just going to go U. I'll do Smart UV. Apply the material. Very similar to the other side, but not exact. This one, U. Smart UV Project. Choose the material, see if it's good enough. You go, I don't like that one right there. That's the one I don't like. Where am I? All right, select it. There it is. Select it. G, move it to another position. Better. Yep, it's going great. Do the bottom. Select it. U, either unwrap or Smart UV. This is without even marking any seams. Okay, maybe you don't mind that black line there. Let's do a bit more. Let's even do these. Now you could do those in concrete or something, but I'm going to select it. And it is a complicated shape, so I'm going to do U, Smart UV Project. I'll get this. All right, choose a material. Now let's have a look at this. It's not bad. We get this up top, where it sort of transitions between one and another. So I'm going to take this piece right there, selected that, and I'm going to try U. Let's try Smart UV unwrap just on that piece. No, I don't like that. U, just unwrap. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to bring an edge loop, another one, and squish it like that. Sometimes find. And that could possibly be all right like that. You know, good enough. You're not going to be super close to this. Do the same thing on this one. You Smart UV Project, choose the material, and decide if it's good enough for you. Okay, so I get this bit bit here to crush that down. And then you could decide, I don't like that, so maybe I'd go U, just unwrap? No, maybe U, smart UV project. How's that look? And I get that. Okay, I don't think I like that. Let's do U, just unwrap. And what about what scale? No, I don't really want to scale. G, maybe move it somewhere. You know, maybe it's just fine. Okay, let's take this guy. Let's do use smart. Let's be smart about it. Just leave that. It's a lot of the same, but let's take those. U and smart. Material. And the steps, just select that one, U and smart. And the material. And hopefully it looks alright. You know, from where we're standing. Let's go back to camera view. Close that. Don't exactly have the right lighting yet. But look at that. You know, for just a low poly, you know, prop. Let's go Shift A, lamp. Let's bring in an area light. Let's get out of camera view. Scale this up. Rotate. Let's see if that does anything for us. A little bit. I could just do that. Okay, how about if we select that, Shift S, cursor selected, Shift A, lamp, point light, pull it up there, make it something like 5 and yellowish. Might not be good yet. Oh, not bad. 8, zoom in. Getting there. I'm gonna go one more. 10, zoom in a little bit more. Do that. Let's save that. Let's switch over to the renders tab. Choose 75, let's say. Under sampling, maybe 200. I haven't done anything with this wood bump or anything like that, so keep that in mind. Denoising, let's try a quick render. Again, it's not going to look perfect. It's just a real quick, simple way of getting some wood on there. You know, you wouldn't want to have a super close-up render of something like this, but it was just some small little thing. You got a little wooden shed, pretty low poly, right? One piece of wood, same texture. You could, you know, turn them this way, turn them that way. You know, you could have the wood planks on this as well. Maybe these are a little bit big. Maybe they need to be smaller. Looks a bit more like a toy. And then of course you can do bump and gloss and all of that stuff. Adjust your bevels. You know, but it's just a simple way of getting stuff done. It does look like a birdhouse, I admit. I just want to crawl in there, though. I want to crawl in there and find some barrels in behind there and climb up and find some whatever else is going to be there. Okay, so all the pieces are very regular except for the grain, which makes it look, you know, breaks up the monotony. There's no stone and there's no distortion of the wood. But once again, the whole point was just a real, very easy way of making a low poly shed. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for watching.